Good morning, fifth graders. This is Miss Manion checking in with Chapter 9, Lesson 3, and we are learning to subtract like fractions today. And just as a reminder, two fractions are alike if their denominators or their bottom numbers are the same. For example, in 7/10 and 3/10, they both have a denominator of 10, okay? All right, so it is possible to subtract fractions that do not have like denominators, but we need to do a step first to make the denominators the same before we get started on the subtraction or addition, okay? So as a reminder, the denominator must be the same to add or subtract. It's different for multiplication and division, which we'll get to soon, okay? All right, now when we are adding or subtracting, we keep the denominator. So right away, if we are subtracting 3/10 from 7/10, we can automatically know that the result is going to be 10 in the denominator, unless we simplify. Okay, so let's take a look at that. The first thing we did here is we set up 7/10 tiles, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. We're getting rid of 3 of them. Cross out 3. How many are left? Well, there are 4 left. Since the denominator stays the same, we know that there are 4/10 left. What was this problem about? I totally forgot to read it. So basically, 7/10 of their surface is ocean, okay? And one of those oceans, the Pacific Ocean, that's the one near our west coast right here, is 3/10 of the earth. So we're figuring out how much all the other oceans are, or how much of their surface is covered by ocean if you subtract the Pacific Ocean from it. So here is how we do this if we do not want to lay out a bunch of fraction tiles. Okay, so we subtract the numerators. Remember, that's the top number. Okay, subtract the numerators, keep the denominator the same. Okay, now here's the thing though. Is that in simplest form? Nope. So let's take care of that really quick. Okay, so 10 is not divisible by 4, so that's out. But they are both divisible by 2. So let's do that. Okay, 4 divided by 2, that's 2. 10 divided by 2, that's 5. Okay, so the final answer will be that the rest of the oceans cover 2/5 of the Earth's surface. Okay, let's try another one. I'll remember to read the question this time. The table shows the amount of rainfall several cities received in a recent month. How much more rain did Centerville, let's see, here's Centerville, receive than Brushton? And here's Brushton. Okay, so we have 9/10 take away 3/10. We can keep the denominators the same, and 9 take away 3 is 6. So we need 6. We need to simplify that, right? Okay, so what are 6 and 10 both divisible by? Well, I always check to see if the larger number is divisible by the smaller number. We cannot divide 10 by 6, not evenly anyway. So what else could we use? 3. Again, 6 is divisible by 3, but 10 is not. How about 2? Okay, so 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Hurrying, making mistakes. 3/5. So 3/5. So 3/5 inch more rain fell in Centerville than in Brushton. What if you couldn't read those and you weren't working with me? What would you do? Well, maybe you would read these as center and brush, or maybe you would read them as C and B. Just be careful if you read this one as C, because there is another one that starts with a C, okay? So make sure you don't pick the wrong one to subtract from. All right, let's try these. It does say in simplest form, yes, I do expect you to actually do that step. So each of these problems has 2 steps. And again, it's good practice for life. Life never hands you a 1-step problem, rarely anyway. And for 6th grade, where many more of your problems will be multi-step. Okay? So what's the first thing we remember? The denominators stay the same. Okay? All right, so we have 5 take away 3, that's 2. 3 take away 2, that's 1. 6 take away 3, that's 3. Now let's check to see if we need to simplify. So is 7 divisible by 2? No. So this one is good. It's in simplest form. How about this one? Well, we have a 1 in the numerator, and the only thing we can divide it by is 1, and that won't change anything. So we are done here as well. How about number 3? Let's always check to see if the larger number is divisible by the smaller number. Can we divide 9 by 3? Yes, we can. So let's divide numerator and denominator by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So here is our final difference in simplest form. All right, guys, go try some on your own. Have fun. Bye.